This whole thing ready to go.
It's okay because it wasn't that good, so you can start over.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't want to say anything, Dre, but yeah, that was rough. But
Yeah, you needed a second take, brother.
I don't know what when it comes to being the hostess with the mostest. I mean, it's not usually me. I usually come in and just fire off Pete.
it's just natural charisma.
Pretend it's
That's
a
all that's
Yinzer Mob
needed.
video.
I'm naturally charismatic, baby. Like what can I say, Greg?
You can intro this
That's
video.
I'm sure that'll be cut out. Anyways, boys, we're here. It's draft week. It's lovely. It's a great time. Winding down to find out who's going to go where. So let's just do one more mock draft, which I'm ready for. One more live one. We got, 2-round mock today. And, we got the ranking as usual. So, Austin, how are you?
I'm good, Dre. I am good. As you said, draft is this. Damn, man, it's so nice. It's so great. I'm pumped.
Did you forget the day that it was on?
This
Bud?
is the worst intro to a draft video.
No. I see what you try to do, Greg. No.
You did.
April
Yeah, I think you
27th.
did.
April 27th. That is the date. And I'm excited for it because it's not only the return of the draft, but it's the return of possibly one of the – let's not interrupt while I'm talking. But yes, the return of the Mac. But it is the return of possibly one of the greatest characters ever developed. Because Professor Moorhead is coming back to town, and he's grading all these picks. I'm excited for it, boys.
I thought he was coming back on Tuesday.
Great, they don't know that. I'm glad they said that, though.
You're welcome.
I wish I wasn't recording for all this. I'll be fully transparent. Dre, you also have a friend.
Isn't the draft the 28th?
I think it is the 28th.
It's not the 27th.
This is what happens when you ask us to do stuff in the morning.
Oh, man.
I haven't had my coffee yet, so.
That's fine.
That is
Anyways, we
good.
got a special guest here today. My man, Justin Budai from RMU out here. Justin, say hi to the people. How are you?
Happy to be here, brother. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Here with Greg Deek, who obviously the host for 2 Beers Deep. So, and then Austin, who got the draft date wrong, is here for Ranks King Court.
Twice.
The host for that. So, before we get started, I do want to say this. Justin, since you're a Vikings fan, is it true or is it not true that Greg Malik looks like Kirk Cousins?
That's a good ass.
I didn't even realize that, but yeah.
Yes.
For sure, a little bit.
I've been saying it for years.
You like that?
Yeah. That's funny.
You would think he's in the room right with us. Wow. That's insane.
I love
like
it.
staring in a mirror. Kirk Cousins mirror.
All right.
Anyways,
I wish I was paid like him. That's all that matters.
don't we all?
You get paid in friendship here.
That's true. I do. My soul is loved based on all of it, not my wallet.
So, I guess, boys, let's get started here, huh? I'm ready. I want to draft. I want to see where we're gonna go. We got 2-round mock here, and I'm pretty excited. So
Well, if you want to draft, just open the window, Dre. Come on,
nope.
it's like the simplest
No,
thing.
that was
very,
Oh boy.
That was a bad
it is
one.
very.
That was a
I don't
Kirk
care.
Cousins.
I love it.
That was the
Exactly.
Kirk Cousins
exactly.
of
It was
jokes.
the Kirk Cousins of jokes. I'm cool with that. Yeah.
We have fun here.
2-round mock. Currently, right now, I'm spinning the wheel to see what the order is. I'll pick 5th, Dre 4th. Malik just got 3rd, so this is for the first pick between Justin and Austin, and the first pick in the mock draft today. And then we'll just alternate 5 ways through up to 2 rounds. And the first pick is yours, Justin.
Oh, wow. All right. On the clock, Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this one's pretty easy. I'd go Aiden Hutchinson. He's the most solid of those top guys, the top DNs.
Mm-hmm.
Trayvon Walker is he's kind of the dark horse that maybe he'll go first, but I don't know. He's obviously the production wasn't there at Georgia, even though he had a crazy cast of people around him. I think Hutchinson is just, although he might not end up being the best one of all of them, I think he's just the most solid 10-year starter guy. I think he's the can't miss at number 1.
Greg disagrees.
I'm going Hutchinson.
Because Greg's an idiot.
I'm on that boat too, Greg. Don't worry about it.
Greg only disagrees because Greg is a Lions fan. So Greg wants Aiden Hutchinson on the Lions.
My number 2 team, yes. You are.
And Austin only agrees because Daniel Jeremiah said at one time in that one
bring
blog.
this up. I am much better than Daniel Jeremiah. Let's be honest.
The shirt would say. No, it's an absolute blue chip can't miss prospect. And Trayvon Walker,
Yeah.
you can't convince me he's gotten better since Georgia, since he hasn't played football since Georgia. So the tape is the tape to me. I don't know.
He was probably,
I'm
the
with you, Justin.
8th best player on that defense?
Yeah.
If I read correctly, yeah.
But you still love him.
Wow, he's gone so high, but hey.
I just think the Jags are going to do something stupid. That's all I know.
That's a fair point.
It's the Jags. I mean, they just gave Christian Kirk $18-20 million. So, yeah, of course they're going to do something stupid.
Yikes.
He is
They broke the receiver market.
They broke the
They
market.
did.
Austin, you're up for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, so
You give me
You know,
Trayvon Walker, I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to do whatever I want, Greg. Thank you very much. It's my pick. So
God help me.
put that in there real quick. Reports have come out that, there could be instances where Sauce could go here. Reports are that some teams think that Kayvon Thibodeau is a top 5 talent. However, I don't think that, the Lions value Thibodeau with his work ethic just because it's that whole, ankle biter style, fight for your life kind of thing.
Kneecaps.
But I'm going to go with who I believe. I think that the edge is valuable in this, so I will go Trayvon Walker here to the Detroit Lions.
Pain in Greg's face.
God help me.
I don't understand why you think it's a bad pick, but
God help me.
Because he hasn't done anything since being a second-round value at the end of the season.
Yes, done nothing. All
Except-
he did was run fast the underwear Olympics.
You don't go in first, Greg. I don't know who you're yelling at.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's factual, Greg. You do have him going first. Bottom line is this. Not wrong about Trayvon Walker. I don't know I don't know how he just shot up draft boards. I thought it was crazy whenever I think it was Daniel Jeremiah had him going to the Panthers 2 months ago, and I was like, hold the phone. What the hell is this?
Mm-hmm.
Turns out, now he's all the way up to 2. So I think this is a case of I think it's a case of physical traits. Everyone's just enamored by his, measurables, and with him being on the Georgia defense, it's sort of hey, that defense is dominant, and let's see what he can do. So I don't like it at 2. I like him. I have him actually I have him behind Thibodeau on my list, but that's just me. But I don't hate to pick Austin. He potentially could go 1, which is wild. So yeah.
Don't hate it at all. Malik, you got the Texans.
So reports have come out this week that apparently Derek Stingley might go as high as 3 in this draft. I'm not going to go this route. I still feel like that the Texans are going to probably wait till the next pick to look at defense, and I think they need to upgrade that O-line. So I think the easiest pick for me is Evan Neal here at 3.
Evan Neal over Icky.
I love Icky. Icky's one of my guys, but I'm thinking of what the Texans will do, and I think they want to go perennial left tackle, and then they can probably try to move Laramie Tunsil to right tackle, and then they would have something to go for a while.
So that was my question going in was, will Evan Neal essentially be the right tackle in this scenario, or are they going to stick Laramie Tunsil to the right and play Evan Neal, a rookie, in the left tackle position? That was just my question.
I think Neal did play right tackle in college, but I also think that he's a much more natural fit at left tackle. Because if you look at that Alabama offensive line, he was by far the best player on that line. There were guys that were brand new this year and were still struggling to their positions, but Neal on tape is much better with regards to his technique, and also how in the world the man is 300 something pounds and he looks like a stick, I don't understand. So
it's insane. Justin, any issue with the last 2 picks?
I like Icky better than Evan Neal. I just think it's a solid pick. I'm not too mad at it. I think that of the last 2 years, I think Icky he's the best tackle of the last 2 years, including Sewell and Darisaw last year. I think the biggest holes in his game are things that are coachable, and he tends to go for the big hit a lot. He tends to, just use his shoulder instead of, putting his arms out on when he's going to the second level. But I think, if that's a guy that you can get in the room and coach him and perfect those things, I think the sky's the limit. I think he's the best of the last 2 years for sure.
Yeah, one of the reasons I love Vicky is because he was coming into this year as a guard. And when he was at NC State, I believe his sophomore year, that's when his tape started to show. And then they moved him to tackle this year to try to be able to get him to play better. And he flourished there. So you can put him at guard or tackle on any line, and he would be a great addition no matter what. So, but I think with a team that probably is preferring the left tackle, they want to go for the guy who's the most natural at first instead of the guy that they probably have to coach up, which I agree with you on that they do need to probably do that with him.
It's fair. I mean, they're both great. We're splitting hairs.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Love that. Dre, you have the Jets, the first of their 2 picks in the first round here.
Oh, boys, this is no brainer. Absolutely no brainer. Part of me really wants to go Sauce here because that's my guy and they need a corner. But if you're the Jets, you need more than that. And I think that they have a bigger hole on the edge. So with Evan Neal going 3, I'm going to go Thibodeau here at 4. In hopes maybe Sauce falls. But if not, you're talking about guys like Stingley at 10. You could even do, Trent McDuffie at 10 because they got a hole there at corner. But, there's so many guys there. After Thibodeau, I don't like what's there on the edge. And I'm a Florida State guy, Jermaine Johnson, but I don't even know if he'll be there at 10. Bottom line is that I got a chance to get Thibodeau now, who at one point was considered the top prospect in this draft. And I think just like reports have come out saying that concerns are overblown, they've always been overblown with me. I've always kept him high in the top 3. I even had him as high as 1. I had him 1 on my big board, I believe, at one point. So if I'm the Jets, which I am in this case, I go Thibodeau.
If there is one solid thing I will say is that out of all these coaches, I think in the first 4 picks, the one that I could see Thibodeau flourishing the most with defensively is Robert Saleh for the Jets. So I don't hate it. I probably would have maybe went a little bit later. I think that they have a bigger need, honestly, at corner. I thought maybe, Sauce would probably be a good thing here, but I don't hate the pick. It's either one defensive stud or another. So
when you said no brainer, I mean, Justin, does he wake you up at night sending texts about Sauce Gardner too, or is that just our group chat?
That's definitely just you. Thank God.
You said no brainer. I thought that's exactly where you were going, Drew.
Me too, actually.
No, I hear enough about the Pirates in the farm system, and oh my God, I can't take it.
Deal. No, okay, Dre, I don't hate it one bit. I'm up for the Giants here. This one makes a ton of sense. Give me Icky, because if they really want to believe that Danny Dimes is their guy, slide him in anywhere on that line and be super happy. I think they're gassed about that pick.
Are you moving him to right tackle?
Yeah.
Or are you moving?
I honestly wouldn't even just slide him in at guard, to be honest with you, but he'd probably sit on right tackle. It just, the Giants for me are in such a terrible position that grabbing talent, either Kayvon or Icky there is an amazing grab for them both, because they're 2 guys that you basically can just throw in and they're going to succeed. There's such a kind of stupid team right now. Like Austin just sent a link to all of us where they're trying to shop Kadarius Toney now. And it's such an absolute clusterfuck over there, and they have Saquon Barkley still. You just got to get talent. And if you pretend that Danny Dimes is your guy, you got to protect him. So, already shopping Kadarius Toney is probably one of the most embarrassing things I've read.
That's not an indictment. I don't know what is.
One of the most embarrassing draft picks last year. It made no sense. I said, "Oh, they got a kick returner. That's great." Makes no sense.
Yep.
Toney's a monster, but I like Toney. I like what he brings to the table. But they didn't need him. When they drafted him, I thought it was crazy because they spent all this money in free agency on guys like Kenny Golladay. They had Sterling Shepard. They had
Slayton.
Darius Slayton. But now I saw a stat that they got $50 million per receiving touchdown or something last year, which was absurd because they spent so much money on a receiving core. They were absolute dog shit. And now they're trying to trade away the most talented one.
The only caveat I'd add to that, Dre, is that a lot of them got hurt. during the year too.
Yeah,
so
and I understand.
Like we can't just blame it all on production, but I would say though that their weapons are still uninspiring compared to the rest of the teams in the NFC East by itself. So,
Justin, you were up for what I would say is the most interesting pick in the first couple picks here, and that's the Panthers at 6.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed that I have this one. I mean, I think for them, I think this is the way this is going, just because they're obviously like uninterested in any free agent. They seem to not want to go that route. I think that they want their own guy at quarterback. So I think they probably do it here. I wouldn't do it, but I think that's what they're going to do. And I would probably go Kenny Pickett at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I think if you're Carolina, he's a little different than what you've had. He's the most pro ready, I guess. You throw him in right away. You have him compete with Sam Darnold. I mean, I hate it, but
you don't sound happy at all.
Yeah, that's what I'll go with.
I mean, it's what we believe that they're going to do, honestly. And here's my take on it. If they believe it's going to save their jobs, just look at Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace when they tried to draft Justin Fields to save their jobs, and they were out immediately.
They should have been out anyways.
That's
I was going to
that's
say
what they've been saying
suck.
about Matt Rule for a while now.
Yeah, but Austin,
Not as long
that's
as
a little
Nagy.
different. Like Justin Fields, like we all agreed coming in was actually like a top QB prospect at one point, and it's not. And it was the writing was on the wall even before they drafted Justin Fields too.
Right. So you would agree that by saying that Justin Fields was a better prospect and they still got fired, that taking Kenny Pickett here, they're going to get fired anyway. It's stupid for them to do this. Like, I would improve the offensive line. I think that's their most dire need. And honestly, I would go get Baker Mayfield. I don't care what they're saying. Have him compete with Sam Darnold. I think that's the easier thing. You can trade him and like a fifth for Robbie Anderson and like a fourth? Because Robbie Anderson obviously doesn't want to be on the same team as Baker Mayfield. Cleveland gets another receiver and Carolina gets their quarterback. I don't understand why they just don't do that.
I don't think anyone hated your take. It was your analogy. Just so you.
I'm sorry, I got very aggressive.
You did it.
I
The take's not bad.
It's all right. It's all right.
I would compare it more to Mitch Trubisky than Justin Fields for that team.
We talked about this yesterday far in his defense.
I'm just going more off it seems like every rumor of another quarterback going there, they immediately shut it down and they laugh. Right. Oh, we would never want that guy. So I think, the writing's on the wall that they want their own guy in the draft.
Then Matt Rule, obviously his connections with Kenny Pickett for recruiting to try to get him to go to Temple is a massive headline heading into the draft.
Mm-hmm.
It's ugly, but it's massive. Austin, you got the second of the Giants picks. The Giants took Icky with their first pick.
Yeah, the slide stops here. They're trying to shop James Bradbury, so why not give them the best corner, arguably, right now in the draft? So give me Sauce Gardner here to the Giants. I know, but, you got to compete in a division where you got Dak Prescott. You got Jalen Hurts going to try to swing the ball. Carson Wentz is going to break both his ankles on the field, so that really doesn't matter. But to have Sauce as a premier, number one lockdown corner in this division, it's a no-brainer.
Two things real quick. One, I really thought for a second, Austin, you were going to pull like a switcheroo and actually pick Stingley when you were bringing up the best corner in this class. I would have laughed my ass off. And number two, when Dre collects himself. Dre, do me a favor. One time for the people in the back, please.
Gardner!
Thank you.
Sauce Gardner!
Okay.
He's a dog, boys. I'm telling you. There has not been a prospect I've been more hype about in this draft probably since ever. Honestly, ever. I've never been so sold on a guy in my life when it comes to the draft. And there's been guys that I've loved, guys like Cortland Sutton that I preached to Greg and Deke. I love them, but I would marry if I had a number one overall pick, I would take this dude in a heartbeat. He's gonna be a monster in the league.
I've never wanted a 20-some-year-old kid to fail more than Sauce Gardner just because you are putting your entire career. I've never wanted a kid's dreams to not come true because of another person more than Sauce Gardner and you.
How you can't fail. His name is Sauce. You can't fail with a name like that. Like you can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just it's impossible. He got the swagger. He's 6'3". He runs a 4.4. He's imposing. He's long. Yeah. He's lanky. Like there hasn't been a touchdown caught on him ever in 1,000 snaps.
I'd be curious to see how long that lasts.
First snap.
I really am curious about that. Yeah.
I'm just saying that's pure dominance. Because I don't care what level of competition you're on. You're talking about you're talking about the hardest position to play in football that's not quarterback. It's corner. It's easily like you're on an island 24/7. You don't know what's gonna happen. There have been 0 touchdowns caught on it. It's absurd. Like, yes, he's gonna be a star. And you're rooting for him to fail. That's worse to me, personally.
I just like to let you talk till you get tired and fall asleep.
Not gonna happen either. I'm jazzed up. So that's a home run pick. Whoever picked it, I can't even. Awesome. Great pick. Giants are back.
Greg, you're up for the Falcons.
I'm so fascinated to see what the Falcons do with this pick because there's so many legitimate routes they could go in here. But I am going to go with something that I've actually been doing a few times on our mock league, and I'm going to cuck over the Seahawks, and I'm going to get the QB of the future. Give me Malik Willis.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting pick and something they could easily do. I don't know. It's going to be terrifying.
I actually think that's going to happen.
Really?
I feel like, I think Atlanta is the place for him.
The Falcons pick is so intriguing to me because I could see them going receiver because they desperately need playmakers. I could see them I could see this being like the ceiling for Kyle Hamilton in all seriousness because I would love him in that backfield. I could see Stingley here. Mm-hmm. They desperately need edge rush too. So
Johnson could go here. Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many great and interesting routes I could see them going in here. So this will be the one that I'm fascinated by the most.
They had 18 sacks last year as a team. That's atrocious.
I know.
But me and Austin were talking about this yesterday. We actually got a deep discussion about the Falcons and what they should do. Mm-hmm. They have so many holes. The last thing they should do is think about taking a receiver here to me because they don't have a quarterback. Like Marcus Mariota is signed to a 2-year deal, which tells me that more than anything, they would be bridging Malik Willis, which is what you need to do. They have similar play styles. You know, Willis is obviously more skilled in those play styles with the speed in his arm. But this is a deep receiver class. So you can get one in the second, which I'm sure will journey down the road here, as we get there. But there's that. There's edge. Like, they don't have a running back. They have Kyle Pitts and Cordero Patterson. That's it.
My only counter to that, Trey, is that they spent a good amount of their draft capital last year on defense, and I think there were some young players that really showed up last year. The sack total definitely is not good, but that starting offensive line, offense in general, aside from Kyle Pitts, is atrocious.
Yeah.
Straight up atrocious.
A lot of holes. Poor Kurt Budosh, friend of the show.
Dre, Seattle Seahawks.
Well, I just got cocked. I knew that much. Because Willis would have been a guy I would have liked here, honestly. But I look at the Seahawks, and again, I see a team with a lot of holes, but I see some that could be fit. I see a team that's just not ready. That's just not ready to compete yet in that voted NFC West. So, to me, you got to build somewhere. When you talk about a rebuild, and I think they got to start in the trenches. So, give me Charles Cross here.
Ooh, I like that.
What do you think about Cross in terms of the prospect? Because he's obviously him or Penning, I think, are the next one to go, and I think Cross might have the potential. Penning's a little bit stable. The tackles in this class are super interesting.
I like Cross a lot better than Penning, personally. Penning to me, and I hate to say this, but I hate that he just tries to fight everybody all the time. I think it's just a total blowhard kind of thing. It's like, it's just annoying. Like, I get it. Like, you're physical, but you don't need to, like, hey, I'm going to fight you on the field. That's how physical I am. Like, bro, put on show up on the tape, like, which he does, but He also went to Northern Iowa.
Yeah, he's a small school guy, man. He he has to prove himself.
He's got the chip on his shoulder
all the time. I get it, but you're also 6'6", 310 pounds. What do you need to prove?
How do you go from that with sauce to that take with Penning? How did you get here? Because the sauce take and the Penning take are complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Because he's loved sauce for way longer than Penning was
but
a
sauce
prospect.
Is a dog. He wants sauce.
Dre just gets lost. He gets lost in the sauce.
You got to understand, he's hanging his hat on this. He's putting his namesake on it, which is very unfortunate for us because we like Arf, and we don't want that on him.
That defense was sick. They were 4th in the nation. Where was Northern Iowa, huh?
North of Iowa. Here's the thing, and then we'll move on real quick. Yeah. I don't hate the pick because the Seahawks, for a long time, they have had multiple holes at the offensive line position. However, Charles Cross primarily good in pass blocking scenarios. In my mind, I think the Seahawks take a little bit of a run first scenario here. I know they have DK Metcalf. I know they have Tyler Lockett, but you have Chris Carson, who is, yes, fumble machine, but you had flashes of Rashad Penny actually doing good things.
He came on really strong at the end of last year. Yeah.
So in my mind, I think the Seahawks maybe take a run first approach here. And I know that Cross's run blocking is not the greatest, which is why it's a little of a hole, but a desperate big enough hole that offensive line needs to be addressed. I don't hate it. Just wanted to let you know that.
I appreciate you for letting us know that.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yes, thank you.
I got the Jets' second pick here. The Jets took Kayvon Thibodeau first, which I think was a great setup, so thank you, Dre. This one is somewhat difficult to me, but I'm going to go with who I think is the best corner in the class and take Derek Stingley because I think Robert Saleh, as we talked about with Kayvon Thibodeau, is the perfect match there. I like Penning here. I think you need to protect Zach Wilson, but they do have 2 strong tackles, and I like Mekhi Becton. So Stingley, if he is healthy and is elite, is going to be one of the best players we've seen at corner.
Any interest on going receiver?
Not at 10 for me. Like we were saying, I mean, I've seen Drake London here a million times. I've seen Garrett Wilson here in mocks. With what you're able to get early in the second, and the Jets can obviously trade up for that. That Lions pick, I think, is going to get moved somehow, some way for somebody. You could easily get your receiver here, but in a class that has guys like Bell and Pickens going in the second, I'd be happy with Mitchell coming out of this class as their only lead receiver and try to deal with it elsewhere.
Plan worked straight to T. If I'm the Jets, that's exactly what I want. I want one of the corners there, especially Stingley. And if he's there at 10, I nail him. If Sauce falls, you get him too. Either way, if Thibodeau's there, I feel like you can't pass him up if you're the Jets.
Deal.
And this is why, because the board worked out perfectly.
Justin, you got the Washington Football Commanders.
Oh, jeez.
You got some ugly picks, man.
All right. I think that because the 2 corners are off the board, I probably go with the first receiver here. So number 1 on my list is Garrett Wilson. I have Wilson and Olave as 1A, 1B.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And I think that they're at least as good as Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle. I think they could be better. I think both of these guys are incredible. I'll go with just Wilson. So I'll take the pick as Wilson, and I'll do just the burst is crazy. Burst off the line, the twitch. I wrote down that he's a smaller Justin Jefferson to me.
Oh wow.
He just the way he moves, the bend, the kind of the hard, long foot in the ground plant and right into the break, just like Jefferson, in the air, moving his body, the twitch, the ball skills. I love Garrett Wilson, so that's what I would go. And also, I love going back to last year. I love Deony Brown.
Yep.
Deony Brown is one of my favorites last year. I think he had a slow first year, but I think that he still has big potential. So I like that.
Deke's a big UNC guy.
I hate UNC. I like that. But Dre, you hate the Ohio State receivers. So it's interesting that he has Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave 1A, 1B right now because you hate them.
No doubt. to me, no doubt. They're the safest for sure.
Geeks being facetious. I love them. I'm with you. Garrett Wilson's number one on my board, and I'm a big Olave guy. Olave was a guy that sort of caught me by surprise more film I watched on him, because I always thought that in that offense he was the guy that just stretches the field, like he's just a deep threat. But seeing what he does near the goal line, I think he's one of the smoothest route runners I've seen come out in a while.
Crazy route runner.
It's unreal, you know. So I don't have him as high. I don't think he's 1B on my list, but he's definitely one of my favorite receivers in this class. I think if he ends up, you know, somewhere with the Packers or the Chiefs, that they're going to be very happy in getting him.
Austin, you got the Minnesota Vikings, so we'll let you pick and then let Justin tear you apart if it's not a good pick.
I don't think he's going to tear me apart on this one, because I honestly believe that this is the easiest pick in the entire draft right now. If both corners are off the board right now, what's the one thing that they desperately need in that secondary? And that is safety help. So give me Kyle Hamilton here to the Minnesota Vikings.
Justin, is that a good pick?
Okay. I think that's actually not a need for them. Cameron Bynum really showed out last year. He had to start when Xavier Woods was hurt, and he played tremendously. I was actually at the game. They played the Chargers. Wow. He and all his family was sitting like 10 rows in front of me because they all had Cameron Bynum jerseys. And
that's awesome.
Only his family have Cameron Bynum jerseys. But I actually think that he's really good. I think they're poised to put him in the spot next to Harrison Smith. I think he's more of the deep half, or the center fielder, free safety. So Harrison Smith's going to be able to roam around in the box more. So I actually wouldn't say that that's the most pressing need. I would go Jordan Davis here, because I think they got rid of Michael Pierce, and for the last couple years the run defense has been a big issue, and it's mostly because everybody gets hurt in the interior D line, and you can't ever have enough bodies there. So I'm going Jordan Davis here. I think that's a big choice for them.
I like that a lot. Greg loves Jordan Davis. He's been preaching him for a long time here.
Dancing bear. I love it.
For the record, I would have gone the same, because I'm not a Vikings fan and don't know that they don't need a safety. So, full transparency, would have gone the same way.
It says here that safety's the number one thing.
It's not terrible. I mean, Harrison Smith is older.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
He's getting up there. Yeah, I think he's in his 30s now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like mid-30s, like 33.
Yeah.
When you get to your 30s, it's all downhill from there. Trust me.
And in the obviously he's at the point in his career where the salary is crazy too. So at some point, they're gonna look to move on. It's not terrible. I don't hate it.
And in all seriousness, I truly do think Kyle Hamilton's the best player in this class. It's just he plays a position that's just not as sought after, so therefore he's gonna fall. And I can't wait to see where he falls, because there's been stuff said that he might fall out of the top 10, which would be incredible to me.
I mean, here he goes 12.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love it. Malik, you're up for the Texans. They previously selected Evan Neal.
Mm-hmm. So this is a guy that we at the bench here have very polarizing opinions on, but I think from the perspective of they have to get some sort of pass rush on that team, I'm going to go Jermaine Johnson here.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, very polarizing here. Austin loves it. I'm like on it, but I digress.
I think it's a need they have. It's the last edge guy that I trust in the first round as of right now, and I think he's fine.
He might end up being the best one.
There's potential there, yeah. I mean, it's the same kind of inflation that Trayvon Walker got, where it's a lot of hope and potential on his athletic ability for it. So,
I think the difference, though, in all seriousness, is that at least Jermaine Johnson showed up on tape. He showed up on tape. He's the ACC Defense Player of the Year, which is something I did not know until after the fact. And then Deke, you told me about the last chance to use stuff too. So he also has a chip on his shoulder. So
he showed out for the squad. it's the only guy they have in this draft class that's worth a damn, which is like how far FSU has fallen. But the point is that Greg's
Thank Jimbo Fisher
right.
for that.
Dre, you got the Ravens.
Yes, I do. And let's see here. Baltimore.
If Jordan Davis was here, that would have been like
would have been a dream. Would have been a match made in heaven. The thing about the Ravens to me, it's very interesting, is that they have a lot of their secondary got absolutely gashed last year, but to me, it only got gashed because all their guys were injured and their whole team was just decimated. So I see this team like needing a lot of things, but like the biggest thing they just need is health.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do something pretty. I'm gonna do something. I kind of want to do something sexy, but I'm not going to because
Thank you.
they just
Be the first time ever.
So, I think with them, I want to do the unsexy pick, and I'm gonna take Tyler Linderbaum.
Oh,
ooh.
Okay.
interesting.
I think I'm still high on him. Tyler Linderbaum is someone. He's been mocked as I've seen him as high as like 6, but then I've also seen him like as low as like 35.
Yeah, second round.
I had him in the second round last one I did.
Yeah, he's 31 on TDN right now, which is weird.
Yeah, it's really strange to me, but I think the Ravens don't really need a lot except for health. But I think the biggest thing in order to protect Lamar, which you will give a lot of money, is you want to make sure that your offensive line is solidified and the quarterback of the offensive line is at center. So I'm very high on Linderbaum. I thought he's the best center prospect coming out in a long time. I've been on the record as saying that he's the Quentin Nelson of center prospects. In terms of being
Where'd
safe,
you read
like
this?
physicality.
I was gonna say, Justin, that expression on your face did not seem like you agreed on that one.
I'm not talking physicality. I'm talking like
Quentin Nelson was out of this world. Quentin Nelson.
Yeah, he was an
whole
insane
next
prospect. I'm saying I haven't seen a prospect like I haven't seen a center prospect like Tyler Linderbaum in some time. So that's what I mean. I don't mean Clay Star or anything like that.
That's almost as bad as Austin Chicago analogy. We're really stretching the human brain on this.
Not a bad analogy.
More than the guy. Oh, Dre. There's only 2 players that are clear-cut head of their position, and it's Tyler Linderbaum and Kyle Hamilton for me. Everyone else, there's an argument either way. So I don't hate it at all, Dre, and I think you're right. They need a little bit of love. I think I would have gone Jordan Davis here, but it's literally the opposite end of what you're picking, so what you're saying is correct. All right, I got it for the Eagles. They have first pick at 15 here. I hate everything. I wanted one of the corners to fall. They didn't. So I'm going to go with what I think is the more intriguing prospect here for the wide receiver position. I'm going to go Drake London. I know that they took Smith last year. I don't think they run Hurts much longer. I don't know what they're doing. The line, obviously, they get their center back in the offseason here, and I think they're a weird team to mock for, and I'm not happy with London. I'm just taking the best receiver I think left.
Honestly, I think he would have been number 1 receiver easily if he was healthy all year.
Yeah,
because I think he fractured his ankle in week 8 of the season. So
he's also a pretty similar player to Alshon Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a good pairing with Devontae Smith.
Yeah, if you're gonna make Jalen Hurts work, get him tools because they need something over there.
Just make sure his soft tissues aren't soft.
Hard, soft tissues here.
Tissues are soft, yes.
Just you got the Saints.
Oh, all right. All right. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with my 1B. I'll go Chris Olave.
Okay.
Talk about
I'm looking at team needs.
Well, I think wide receiver is good, but you got Williams, you got Burks, you got obviously Olave there. There's a ton of names there. Why Olave over those guys for the Saints right now?
So this is a hot take, and I feel like you guys are going to be upset at this, but I don't even have Treylon Burks in my top 10 receivers.
Wow.
Wow.
Dre.
Not even in my top 10.
What?
Dre's the one way more heated about that
Oh
one.
my
Really don't
goodness!
like him.
I love it.
Like, I really don't like him. Do you want me to get into that
Yes,
now? Or?
yes.
Oh, you can't just say that and not get into it.
Okay. So watching so my when I do my receiver rankings, it's strictly on tape.
Yep.
And I had him. When I first watched him, I'm like, okay, you got the big Julio body. You see him he gets the slants and he takes them 80 yards, or he gets the drag route and goes up the seam. And, but obviously he ran a 4.55 40. I don't think he's going to do it. He has very little separation. His route tree is super simple. He beats college corners with his big body and the 50-50 balls, but he doesn't have elite size, elite length. I don't think that he's going to be able to do that in the NFL. I think honestly, and I still have scars. He reminds me of Laquan Treadwell.
Oh,
that's nasty.
Damn.
I mean, if you go back and watch Laquan Treadwell and Ole Miss, his tape is crazy. But there's just, he ran a 4.6 at the combine. He just doesn't have that separation. He doesn't have the route running. He was supposed to be Anquan Bolden coming out, he might not be that fast, but he has the, all the intangibles, the body, he's going to be able to win with physicality. And it didn't pan out, obviously. And I know that Treylon Burks kind of does the, where he goes into the backfield, maybe Cordero Patterson, maybe, but Cordero Patterson couldn't make it as a receiver because he can't run the route tree. And that's exactly what Burks is, man. There's so many better players, so many.
Real quick before Dre decides to go ballistic.
Cry.
I don't, Justin, I don't hate your explanation. My only caveat to that is the entire reason Arkansas was even good this year was because of Treylon Burks. And I feel like that kind of goes a long way with how a player can adjust to the NFL, especially in the SEC, when this guy is clear cut the best player that got to the point there. I just feel like there has to be something said to it. And I think size necessarily, I don't think is much of an issue anymore in the NFL because there's just so many different flavors that you could want. There's not a bad option to go with someone who's a 50-50 ball guy, as long as you already have a team that has a speedster that can kind of play off of it a little bit. So,
yeah,
but I get it. Yeah.
I would just say that size in a sense of the way he plays.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have big size when you're Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson.
Right.
You don't, and you're great at route running and speed. You don't have to have great size when you're doing that. But when you're Treylon Burks and you're not getting away from corners, you're not separating, you don't run anything other than straight line routes. I think that at the NFL level, if you're going to be the 50-50 ball guy, you have to have that elite size and the elite length. And I don't think he has it.
The only guy he's not going to beat is Sauce Gardner, but we'll get there.
Oh my God!
All right, moving on here.
All right, move on.
So anyway,
I know. I just want to say one thing because I think this is absolutely bananas. But hey, this whole draft here has been bananas in terms of ranking. What Justin's saying is literally all the same things. All the same reasons that DK Metcalf fell. It just. To me, this is just another case of DK Metcalf syndrome.
But he's not.
So
he's
DK Metcalf and Tyler Linderbaum is Quentin.
He didn't. He ran a 4.3, and he was a monster. But everyone's his route tree is very simple, and he ended up falling into the second round despite him being this physical specimen that was fast. And everyone's like, he's not as agile. Maybe he's not as smooth as a route runner. I don't know about his size. And this and that. But DK Metcalf's obviously a monster.
My caveat to that though, Dre, is that DK Metcalf didn't dominate in college though. Treylon Burke, the reason that I have a little bit higher is because I specifically watched him take over games against dudes. He single-handedly won the game against Texas A&M.
You said about Deebo Samuel very aggressively when he was coming out, Greg. You gave the same sentiment of he took over games, and I saw it in the SEC. Not that they're comparable at all, but your sentiment of wide receivers there is
My sentiment is
Correct.
like the guy that can win you a game and is clear and above the best player on your team. That I feel like that translates to a degree. But yes, you need the right system around you. Metcalf, I didn't see that originally because he was on a team with AJ Brown, and I don't think either of them were like guys that were highly sought after. Like AJ Brown wasn't a first round pick either.
Well, I also think that they fell because of Laquan Treadwell.
Yeah.
That's not bad either, honestly.
I think that's a big reason why both of them fell.
Interesting.
Can I say one thing about it, and then I'll move on to my pick?
Yep.
I would say a lot of the time, more or less, the reason for the concern of DK Metcalf was the fact of the body fat issue, the fact that it was literally muscle and nothing else. And when that happens, all it takes is one hit and you're like out completely. So I think maybe injury concern was on the rise there of why Metcalf fell. And that's all I'll say about that. But I appreciate the takes.
Austin,
For this, oh god,
please don't pick yet. I apologize. I just want to know, Deke, can you give us a recap since we're halfway through the first?
I guess, man. I'm still getting over some of your guys' takes here. Yeah, so the first pick, obviously, Aiden Hutchinson to the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trayvon Walker to the Lions, Evan Neal to the Texans, Kayvon Thibodeau to the Jets, Icky to the Giants, Kenny Pickett, the first quarterback off the board, 6 to the Panthers, Sauce Gardner to the Giants, Malik Willis, quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons, Charles Cross, tackle to Seattle Seahawks, Derek Stingley, the number 1 corner in the class, Dre, 10 to the Jets, Garrett Wilson goes 11 to the Commanders, Kyle Hamilton to the Vikings, Jermaine Johnson to the Texans, Tyler Linderbaum to the Ravens, Drake London to the Eagles, and Chris Olave to the Saints, leading up to Austin having the Chargers pick.
Yes. And when I say that the Chargers are dancing for joy right now, because they will be getting the dancing bear Jordan Davis to complement Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa and JC Jackson on that defense. It's insane. Like the fact that, I didn't take him, with the Minnesota pick eventually leads me to pick him here. I think that's poetic justice. So
if they get the dancing bear, I already have them as like near the top of the AFC in terms of Super Bowl favorites. But I feel like if they get him, they're just going to win the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't be surprised if they traded up for him.
Yeah.
That's how desperate they need him. Like, they've been absolutely gashed running the ball.
Yep.
Like, their run defense has been horrible. It's their only real weakness right now. And if you get a monster of a man in Jordan Davis, like, I would not be opposed to them trading up for him at all. I'd trade up, 6-8 spots for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might even trade with the Vikings.
Yeah.
Wow.
This wouldn't be the worst thing, because Vikes have some holes to fill too. So, more picks, more chances at it.
Malik, you got the second of the Eagles pick. The Eagles took Drake London.
All right. So first off, Austin, I'm glad you're caffeinated right now. So shout out to Bree for getting you your coffee.
I know. Wonderful woman.
So I'm up for the Eagles. They already took a receiver, which I think will work out very well. So I'm going to add to the offensive line as well. Ooh. And I think the way this will work out is Kelsey will probably only be back for one more year, which then they can go into the following year with deciding who will be their center between Landon Dickerson, who's their left guard, and this guy who needs probably another full year to learn the center position if he wants to transition, Zion Johnson.
Ooh.
That's a good pick.
I don't hate it.
I love that pick, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
I would have picked Tyler Linderbaum, but someone cucked me, so that's kind of how that worked out.
He's the Quentin Nelson of the draft, Greg. He's not going to fall to 18.
Absolutely. You're right.
Love it. Dre, you got the Saints' second pick. They took Chris Olave first time around.
So with the Saints, I think this is sort of obvious in terms of their holes. They have a massive hole at left tackle, losing Terran Armstead, who is now in the Dolphins, got a massive contract. So with that being said, I think that they need to take the best tackle prospect on the board at the moment, and right now that is Trevor Penning. So give me Trevor Penning here for the Saints.
I feel like this would also be Charles Cross's floor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. He's not going to fall past them. There's no doubt in my mind about that either.
I'm really nervous. I got the Steelers.
Oh, no.
If you do it, I swear I'm I'm hanging up this phone.
I mean, it's
Do
about
it.
to happen. So the problems
Do it.
here
Do
is
it.
we've
Please don't do it.
We've
Do
seen
it.
Wyatt get mocked here before. They have reportedly removed him off their board due to his domestic violence issues.
Oh,
I
thank
don't
God.
want to go safety here, despite Greg saying he thinks Daxton Hill could be the selection here. I would
I wouldn't be
love
shocked.
to go Devin Lloyd here, but I think we filled enough of a hole there to hope Devin Bush becomes something. So Desmond Ridder is a Steeler.
Let's go.
Wow.
Whoa!
I don't like any of the receivers there enough for us to warrant a first. We never use a first on a receiver, so that'll be George Pickens hopefully in the second. I could see Kenyon Green maybe here to help out a little bit there. Corner's definitely a need, but I don't think there's a big difference between – and I like Andrew Booth, but Trent McDuffie's not a guy. I hate Karen Elam. I think we can get later corner talent. Desmond Ridder's the last quarterback that I would be comfortable drafting in this class.
I like it. I actually like it. I firmly believe I'm not a big Cincinnati guy. You know that, but I think it's a good fit.
No love for Corral.
I love Corral.
I don't like Matt Corral. Dre loves him. It was one of those things where it's the same reason I hated Sam Howell. And it's because, one, Greg loved him, but two, I didn't like him because you had a very open quarterback competition for the number one quarterback this season. Like, there was no quarterback that was coming out. I mean, we look at, the young guns in there, and then Spencer Rattler, who is a complete sham of a human being. But Matt Corral and Sam Howell both came into the season with massive expectations, and I feel like they both laid an egg. And obviously you can't, take that because there's guys that, did nothing in college and became great. Desmond Ridder for me is the next quarterback that goes here. He's somewhat pro-ready. They had Tomlin met him for dinner, which is a sure sign of a first-round grade for us. I don't love it, but
I think both Colbert and Tomlin were at the pro day too, which is another sign.
no.
Corral also had his top 3 receivers hurt most of the year.
Sam Howell had his entire team leave for the draft. I'm not fair in my judgment. I can't explain it. It's just I think Matt Corral could be really good in the right situation. I don't believe the right situation for, I guess the way I word it is I don't think the Steelers are the right spot for him. Okay. It just, I don't know. There's something about him that I just don't love.
I will say this about Ridder. He has a very strong mental fortitude and a will to win. When you listen to him talk, he really commit. No, when you listen to him speak, he's very you can honestly, he's a guy I think you can rally around in that sense. And you kind of want that from a quarterback, So I like that. I just don't see it on the tape. I don't understand the whole meteoric rise of him. I know Cincinnati to me was a team that was good, but I think they were good not because of him, in spite of him, so to say. But I mean, the Steelers have Mitchell Trubisky, so there's no real immediate need to push him. So you can kind of maximize his talents in that way. So I guess we'll find out. But if that happens, I don't know. I just don't know.
Justin, you got the Patriots.
All right. Man, this is becoming a theme here. Me with wide receiver.
This is gonna be good.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, right?
Do it.
You got to be Jameson Williams here.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Has to be. Mac Jones,
Who?
old teammate. I mean, it got to be. Jameson Williams is my number 3.
Okay.
Behind Wilson and Olave. I mean, what do I even have to say? The speed is crazy.
Draft them in order too, because you had all 3 picks. It's really fun.
Yeah. The way it should be.
Sprinkling a little Drake London there. I'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could go linebacker here. I think they could wait to do that. I would go. I think Jameson Williams is the right fit there.
I have this pick in my future mock coming out on Wednesday, written in pen. I think this is a perfect match. I think the Patriots are somehow just going to take him, and then he's going to end up being like the next Odell Beckham or something in his rookie year when he comes out healthy. Because all we have is tape. I mean, he's been hurt the entire time, but it'd be vintage Patriots for them to get him and then just him absolutely explode. So,
I mean, all the receivers that ran 4.3s at the combine, like, Jameson Williams is probably, if not better. He's right. He's obviously right there. And that's obvious.
Austin, you got the Packers.
Yeah, man. That sucks. That was gonna be my pick, and I got cucked. So now I gotta think. Now he's in my head with this whole Traylon Burks scenario, and I'm like debating if I want to take.
Never let anyone influence you.
Please.
Don't disappoint Aaron there, Austin.
Just one conversation, and Justin's already.
No, I know, I get it. Like I get
Easily
his points that he's saying. However, like I think that they use Traylon Burks, and the pick is going to be Traylon Burks. And I'm going to say here that I think they do a little bit of not as much of a Deebo Samuel role with him as much as I think, but I think there's going to be a lot of end rounds. I think the Packers are honestly going to be a run first team this year going into this season. I truly believe it, even with Aaron Rodgers. Now they did sign Sammy Watkins. I don't know what that's going to do. It's probably going to be nothing.
He makes the team, yeah.
Yeah. So in order to do this, get a guy that can essentially maneuver in both scenarios in a little bit of a like slant round run game scenario. You can I know the speed is a little bit of a factor here, but if the tape disappointed, like if the tape did disappoint, then it disappoints. But I think that he has a very good opportunity to shine here with a veteran quarterback. And if not, you run first, do the end arounds because he can do that.
I like that take a lot, Austin, just for the record.
Yeah.
Justin, do you think it's a good fit? Because I know you said please do it because you hate him, but is there justification for being a good fit?
I would say that I think that's his best chance of being good.
Agreed.
For sure.
Traylon Burks got picked.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I wasn't here. So.
It's okay, Dre. You hate us. Malik, you got the Cards.
So, running joke between me and Deke is that the Arizona Cardinals have an affinity for Washington DBs for some reason. I can't figure out what it is, but I'm going to go a little bit of a different route, and I'm actually going to go with the guy who I think is a little better. I'm going to go with Andrew Booth.
Yeah, I think that's the next best corner off the board.
Yeah. Although I might consider if I was a betting man, I might put money on them taking Trent McDuffie just because.
Well, another late riser on mine, I have him going early second, is Kyler Gordon.
Yeah, you were a big fan of Kyler Gordon. Yeah,
I think they're both amazing talents. Him and McDuffie. I personally like Booth, his size a little better, but corners here are an interesting one. Any reservations on that, guys? Do we agree with Greg? Do we hate him?
There's two main positions that they need to fill. And honestly, if it were me, I'd kind of maybe work in the routes of replacing that Chandler Jones role. Maybe go Boy Mafe, maybe go Karlaftis, although I think Karlaftis is maybe sliding down into the later first round. You could even argue Ebigete from Penn State, because he's been flourishing.
He's getting some late buzz too, yeah.
So in my mind, I think I would address the edge first and then corner second. But that's just me.
No problem there. Dre, you got the boys.
Boys.
I'm boys.
Cowboys are – I keep saying this, but, Cowboys are in a weird, interesting scenario. I don't really know exactly what they're trying to do per se because you pay Dak, you maximize him, but then you trade away Amari Cooper, which was the number one target. And I mean, they did pay Michael Gallup, but I don't know. Michael Gallup's had injury issues. I really want to go receiver here, but I just don't think that they necessarily need one more than they need this position. So I'm going to go edge here, and I am not going to take Karlaftis. I'm going to take Mafe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Mafe is going to be the interesting one because he has had late buzz as well, and Karlaftis continues to slide. So I could see him going at this point in the draft easily.
Yeah, the Randy Gregory thing threw them through a loop, so they need to address the edge desperately.
Yeah, that's right. And the thing about Karlaftis is he's nothing about him is particularly special. He's not strong. He's not super strong. He's not crazy fast. He's not super athletic. not saying it's not solid, but like, it's just I feel like something like that is really going to solidify like your draft position. But like throughout the workouts and throughout everything, throughout this whole process, nothing's really stood out, which is to me why he keeps sliding. But
yeah, Deke, you bring it up all the time. He's the AJ Epinesa of this draft. So
yeah, he's there. He's good. He'll be good with a good team. I'm up for the Bills. This one's super easy for me. They lost Levi Wallace. Get Tre'Davious White help on the other side there because I kind of like receiver here for them, but we can wait for that one. Trent McDuffie.
Yep.
Love that. Justin, you're up for the Titans.
All right. So I won't go receiver here.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They need it.
I mean, I could. Yeah. What's the status there? Right. Like Julio Jones is out.
Yep. Julio Jones out. AJ Brown has a big question mark about his future there.
They got Robert Woods. That's
They brought in Bobby Trees.
Okay. I just for the sake, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Who would it have been?
Who
would it have been?
Do you want to know who it would have been?
Who would have been? Yeah.
Number four on Budai's wide receiver rankings is Cincinnati's Alec Pierce.
Ooh,
really?
Wow. Wow.
I think exactly what you want Treylon Burks to be, Alec Pierce is. 100%.
Wow.
Dre had to take his hat off for that. Damn.
6'3", 215, runs up 4.39 40. I mean, the burst is crazy. The twitch is crazy. Going up to get the ball over the deep post with two guys. And I was gonna say this also with Desmond Ridder, is watching Desmond Ridder highlight tape is like watching Alec Pierce's highlight tape.
Okay.
Every throw is like a 50-50 ball that Alec Pierce is coming down with.
Damn.
And there's also a lot of like where Pierce has the guy beat by 5 yards and he has to, slow down and go up and make it a 50-50 ball when it could have been an easy touchdown. So I would go the wide receiver would be Alec Pierce, but I'll go linebacker, I guess. We'll go Devin Lloyd.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Devin Lloyd's a good pick there.
And I think they can get receiver in round 2. Honestly, Pierce might even be there.
Yeah.
So why Lloyd over Nakobe Dean? If you don't mind me asking, D.
Oof. Just the pure middle. Dean is like crazy athletic, and I think he is like he's very much that vocal leader. He's the voice on the field. I don't know. I like the Utah guys. I'm gonna go with Lloyd.
Okay.
It's splitting hairs, but I'll do Lloyd.
You got Tampa Bay.
Super easy. They lost one of their interior offensive linemen. They need to protect Brady. So if Zion Johnson is gone, give me Kenyon Green here.
Yeah. I think it's a great pick. Greg, the Packers, who previously took Treylon Burks.
Yeah, I kind of wish they didn't go receiver because I feel like Jahan Dotson is the perfect fit for them there.
Shut up,
In all
idiot.
seriousness.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Take him.
But I'm gonna be kind of ballsy, and I'm gonna take a guy for the sake that they're gonna get the 5th-year option on him, and that I think we all like a lot, and might not play right away, but still, give me David Ojabo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping he was falling.
Or David Ojabo.
I still think he'll be a first-round pick.
Oh yeah,
I mean
that 5th-year option is something that people care about. I mean, we're seeing it now with 3 wide receivers at the same time who are asking for trades because they need to get paid, and they were second-round guys.
Dre, we got back-to-back Chiefs picks. You're up for the first one.
Well, I want to take the easier of the 2 picks. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious they got a whole wide receiver. I'm just not going with the receiver some might not think I'm going with. Like Jahan Dotson would probably be the guy that a lot of people might think I'm going here, but I'm actually going Skye Moore.
Thank you, Dre. Thank you.
The past like 4 things we've done
so
for draft
mad.
content,
He's
you've just
so-
taken what Greg has said and put it into practice, and I love it.
Basically, yeah.
And this is not it's not a knock, Dre. I'm not knocking you, but Greg has tried to make this pick happen more times than you'll ever know.
We saw a wince out of our guest here, so obviously
low
he
is
does
Skye Moore?
Skye Moore's probably not even in his top 10, I bet.
No, Skye Moore is number 10 on my list.
Oh, okay, I'll take it.
He's 10 on my list. It's a good pick. I guess I'm a little surprised that he went that high, but that's fine. I don't hate it, especially with the Chiefs that like Juju and Juju's like the big guy, like the
Still
big body
Kelsey.
guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Trust the field. You get Skye Moore can kind of do it all. So
yeah, I don't hate it.
That puts me up then for the Chiefs' second pick here. I'm gonna go with my number one safety prospect. I understand the inflation on Daxton Hill, but I like the tape on Brisker. I think Jaquan Brisker plays big. I'm a huge Jaquan Brisker fan, and I think plugging him in right where the Honey Badger left a hole is going to be no problem for the Chiefs.
I like that a lot. Good pick.
See, Dre, that's how you get people to like your selection. You make a good pick. Justin, you got the Bengals.
Okay, so free agency, they did a good job of solidifying the line.
Mhm.
That was like obviously their huge weakness last year.
They rebuilt the hell out of that, yeah.
Yeah. Could you go corner here?
You could argue that maybe safety is in play because we don't know the whole situation on Jesse Bates. Like,
didn't he get franchised? I believe.
I don't think he signed the tender yet,
sign it
though.
yet.
Okay. And they spent a lot of money on their defense too. I do know that.
They
I think
did,
they're
yeah.
the second most expensive defense in the NFL, behind the Steelers.
I think like if Tyler Linderbaum was here, this is a no-brainer because I think of all their line, the only thing they had left to do was to fill the center.
Yeah.
This
And
is where I have a lot of people mocking Linderbaum now because like center right now is like not as much as valued like toward this part of the draft. So I think this would be a steal for them. Obviously, now that he's gone, this puts a little bit of more pressure on what the situation and what the solution is for the Bengals.
What are you thinking, Justin?
Yeah. Tyler Smith, Tulsa.
Oh,
That's a versatile guy that, you know, he could play a couple different positions. I don't hate that.
Yeah.
Daxton Hill. This is tough. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
thinking
you're
out
fine.
loud here.
no. We love the thought process. It's cool.
I say I would let's do Tyler Smith. Tulsa.
Greg's a big Tyler Smith guy.
Big Tyler
I
Smith
think
guy.
I like his versatility. I think he's and I think safety you can get more value there later.
I agree with that. I like that a lot. I think he's kind of like a little Zion Johnson in this draft because he can move a little everywhere. There's a lot of guys like that. Us closed out the first round with the Lions pick.
Yeah, I
they
hate
went
this
edge.
pick. I hate this pick so much.
Gotta do it.
It's like they have so many options, but if they really want like their guy, if they really want a 5-year deal on him, and I hate it, but give me Matt Corral here to end out the first one. I hate it, but
It's a great pick, Austin.
I don't like it.
Excellent.
It's a no-brainer.
I wanted to go
sense.
like Jahan Dotson, but like when they have their second pick in the second round, it could easily be filled there. Safety, and just if they want a 5-year option on a guy to take a chance on, Goff's obviously not the answer. Next best thing is Matt Corral.
I think it's a
Four
great pick.
quarterbacks taken in the first round.
We always do this. We do like 17 wide receivers and 20 quarterbacks in the first round, and nothing happens.
Never happens. Never.
Greg, you got the Jaguars.
All right, starting off the second round, I think this will be easy just based on the versatility this guy can have in the secondary. Daxton Hill.
Yeah, it's a good pick for them. Dre, the Lions.
With my boy Andre Cisco.
I did like Cisco out of Syracuse actually, but I think Hill can be a bit more versatile, and I think Cisco was a bit more of a heavy hitter too, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Remember correctly?
Yeah, I think that's a good combo.
Love it.
Dre.
So the biggest thing about the Lions to me is culture and trying to reset and rebuild or build a culture, so to say.
And bite off kneecaps.
Yes, and I think in order to do that, you need someone who is a vocal leader. I think you need someone who is a heart and soul of an entire unit. And the fact that he's here, I can't pass him up.
Yep.
So give me Nakobe Dean.
Thank you. I was hoping for this.
That's a good fit for that defense. They need that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I got the Jets. They dealt with their secondary, took edge last time. I don't necessarily in love with it, but I did mention that they were going to have to get this guy eventually. I'm going to go Jahan Dotson.
Yeah.
I don't mind like the Drake London, Olave Wilson there at the 10th pick for them, but to get a guy, you can walk away with Dotson, you can walk away with Pierce, you can walk away with a couple different guys here. Watson, another name that's had some inflation. So, Justin, you got the Giants. I can recap their picks if you need me to for you too.
Yeah, please.
So the Giants so far, they took Icky at 5 and then Sauce Gardner, and it's showing up their needs: edge, safety, interior line, linebacker, wide receiver.
It's a hell of a draft already.
Yeah, that's a really good draft for them, honestly.
Yeah, I think so. I think he fell all the way here. Got to go Karlaftis.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of him. Actually, really? I think that although he might not have any elite traits like Dre alluded to, I think he's solid, man. I think he's really good. I think he'll be kind of in that like the Aiden Hutchinson vein where like he's going to be a starter for a while.
That's cool.
You know what he is in all seriousness? He's the polar opposite of Azeez Ojulari, who they took last year.
I like that.
Made that take. Yeah. I like that actually.
Us, you got the Texans.
Yeah. Main thing, regardless, is that we are going secondary here. Whether that is there's potential for corner, there's potential for safety. In my mind, I think there is a first-round grade guy from this that slid into the second round. So I would Kyer Elam, corner out of Florida. So they desperately need like secondary help. And you just, at this point, like every position is kind of a thing. So you could maybe have argued Lewis Sign here from Georgia. I really wanted him there, but I think their main opposition of the two in the secondary help that they need is corner. So Elam for them.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. Greg, you're up for the Jets. The Jets, 4 picks so far were Kayvon Thibodeau, Derek Stingley Jr., or 3 picks, and then Jahan Dotson.
Joe Douglas should be doing backflips for that haul if he's able to actually get that.
And Capella, our friend Chris. He's a Jets fan.
I'm gonna add some more. Depth to that defense. A guy who's starting to creep up some boards, and I think it depends on the team he goes to. But I think he could be an impact guy. Give me Quay Walker.
Quay Walker and Christian Harris are going to be the interesting who goes first for me with those linebackers in the second round.
Yeah, I think Harris is the better linebacker right now, but I think Walker will be the one that people look at and think we can mold him, essentially.
Dre, you got the first of the Chicago Bears picks. They do not have a first rounder.
They do not have a first rounder. That is very true, because they used that to trade up and get Justin Fields. So one thing is for sure with them, they need more weapons, I think, on the offensive side of the ball. I know there's a guy I really like here, and I think that he brings a lot to the table, a lot of what they need. And I really, really, really hope that he ends up going 52 to the Steelers, but I'm going to take him here for the sake of let's get Justin Fields some elite talent. So give me George Pickens.
I hate you. Justin, how high is Pickens on your list?
9.
Okay.
Number 9. I really like Pickens. I feel like I'm actually surprised. I think he's like one of the guys that's kind of falling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think guys are kind of, surpassing him. But I like Pickens a lot. I have you guys might like this. As a comp for Pickens, I got Chad Johnson.
Really?
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
I think it's just a similar. Pickens might be a little taller, but I think it's just a very similar movement. I really like him, like the posts.
Yep.
The long comebacks. It's very Chad Johnson-ish to me.
Chad Johnson, some of the best feet I've ever seen from the receiver position.
And Pickens, crazy feet for somebody that tall. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that might go into. That's probably why I got there with the comp.
I know Deke's a big Pickens guy too.
Mm-hmm.
Coming into this class, before he got hurt, he was probably considered the top receiver.
Oh, easily.
And some mocks that I would see, he was going as high as top 5, which was crazy. But he got injured, which kind of sucks, which is why he's fallen. But him coming back and playing in the for Georgia in the championship game in the playoffs, I think kind of put a lot of questions to bed. His slide to me is kind of shocking, I guess, in that aspect. But at the same time, a lot of guys have more tape. They had more opportunity to get tape out there. And, it's okay that he's fallen. But I think he's going to be a very, very impactful guy in the second round. And could go. Some think he could go in the first.
Don't hate it at all. No, Chad, get out of here. People are sending me Xbox invites and it just ruined everything. All right, we're back in it. I got the 2 picks for the Seattle Seahawks here. They previously took tackle Charles Cross. I kind of wanted to take Sam Howell just to take it, but I hate him, so I'm not. Give me Ebiketie, Penn State edge. Give them a little bit of dog up there. I thought about going corner, thought about going quarterback, but getting who I consider one of the I like Logan Hall. I like Cameron Thomas. We talked about Drake Jackson a decent amount, but Ebiketie's the last good edge I like. Which means that, Justin, you have the Seahawks up again.
So here, I think I might just have to go best player available here. Corner, I don't know. I'm gonna go. Yeah, this guy. There's actually a couple D linemen that are falling here, in Wyatt and Winfrey.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis Sign is also there. Kyler Gordon. That's tough. And Washington. Yeah, maybe I'm talking myself into Kyler Gordon. Let's do that. Let's do Kyler Gordon.
Love it. That was the other guy I was looking at, man.
Seahawks. The Washington that sold me. Kyler Gordon is great. Yeah, super athletic. He's a ballet dancer.
Really? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. He was a ballet dancer and also like a martial artist, like a jiu-jitsu or not jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna get it wrong.
Muay Thai, something.
Yeah, something like that. One of the striking ones. Jiu-jitsu's grappling.
Yeah,
right?
jiu-jitsu is like submission work and stuff.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's not jiu-jitsu. One of the striking ones. But yeah, I think I like his tools. I think he can. I think he'll be good. I'm not. Not anything crazy, but I think he's solid.
Yep. Austin, you got the Colts.
Yeah, I do. So there's a multitude of ways that I think I could go about this pick. Primarily, I think their 2 biggest needs are edge and wide receiver. Wide receiver market for Indianapolis is not great. You have T.Y. Hilton, who constantly gets hurt. You have Michael Pittman, who seems to be the focal point of that receiver core. And then all the other guys are just there. So if Michael Pittman is covered, it's a no shutdown thing. But you also have Jonathan Taylor, who, is primarily, which I think Indianapolis might take a run first oppression, knowing that Matt Ryan is there and, he has the ability to, just hand the ball off and just be a game manager and not have to make any mistakes and everything. But then you have the edge class who Logan Hall is essentially the best one here. I think I'm just going to have to do this and maybe cuck Atlanta's opportunity at taking a good guy. So give me Christian Watson here, Indianapolis.
I like that you said that the guy that led the NFL in rushing, his team's going to have a run first approach. I like that. How high's Watson on the ranking, Buddha? Because I think that Christian Watson's been getting a lot of inflation lately.
Watson's 6.
Ooh, okay.
He's 6. He's kind of like Pickens. Like it's crazy to me that a guy that is that tall has that kind of feet and athletic ability and like the twitch. Mm-hmm. Did you guys know that he went to North Dakota State at 6 foot?
Really?
And he did the Scottie Pippen. He shot up. He shot up 4 inches in like his freshman or sophomore year of college.
It's the same thing that Carson Wentz did. Wentz was like 5'10", 5'11", and then he shot up to like 6'4" when he was at North Dakota State.
Something in the water over there at
Them
North Dakota.
No, I like the big guys.
But yeah, I think the comp this might be an obvious one, but it's Chase Claypool.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason why it maybe I would have went somewhere different, like maybe I would have went Alec Pierce, is because Pittman is kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think Pittman and Watson are kind of too similar. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that could work, right?
To be fair, the Colts have been taking receivers that have basically been the same person for like how long? So they might change their strategy now. So.
And they took Paris Campbell that year, and it was just weird.
Yeah, but I think it's a good pick. I think he's great.
Greg, you got the Falcons. They have their quarterback of the future, and that is it so far.
I'm gonna be that guy. I'm taking the first running back off the board.
Oh wow.
Oh geez.
Love it.
I look at this Falcons offense, and there's nothing aside from Kyle Pitts. I know, but they need someone to be their predominant offensive weapon, and I can't rely on Pitts to be the guy for the majority of the time, and they need someone to be a bell cow. So for me, I'm going Breece Hall.
That's the question then. Is it Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker III? So
I like Walker, but like I feel Hall coming into this year was definitely RB1, and I don't think necessarily that any of those issues were displaced in any way. I mean, he dealt with some injuries during the year, but I still think that he is clear above RB1 in this case.
Breece Hall is my RB1. I think he's explosive. I think he's extremely fast. I think he's extremely agile, has great hands. True 3-down back.
Yes.
They don't have one. Like Cordero Patterson is a running back who is electric, might I add. But
he should not be a running back.
That's
the point.
No, but now you can put him on the field with Breece Hall, with Kyle Pitts, and Malik Willis. You're kind of building a formidable offense there, and in a now weaker division.
Dre, you got the Browns.
If I recall, this is their first pick in this draft, right?
Yes, it is.
The Browns is the Browns, and screw the Browns because they inflated the quarterback market. Them and the Jags, I'm very, very hot on right now because they have done that. But
very hot.
The biggest thing with the Browns right now is they honestly don't really have a lot of holes. Looking at their roster, it's just a matter of can they put it all together. They have not brought back Clowney yet, but I do hear that is what they're trying to do. But as of right now, they have a hold edge. I'm not really keen on some of the edge guys here. So I'm going to go a guy who's kind of sliding And I think the Browns are a team that would go this route. Give me Devontae Wyatt here.
Yeah.
That's who I would have gone with. That's a good pick. They're one organization that has proven to not care about public opinion in terms of those cases. So Devontae Wyatt
And the Bengals.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Browns is the
What are they
Browns.
doing? Oh my goodness! And then they made what's his name? The highest paid corner.
Denzel Ward. Yeah.
I
But
don't
did you see
mind
by how
him
much?
in the market.
0.5. They just added they sprinkled an extra $500K to make him the highest paid.
Well, they're getting investigated, right? Like as to like they're saying they were getting
investigated for tanking. It's just Hugh Jackson. That was it. That was you know what I mean? Like you want to be investigated for tanking. They're just the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, dude. They clearly don't care about public opinion or viewpoints, and they are the team I have Wyatt going to draft to. So
for the record, I have nothing wrong with Denzel Ward getting paid. I like Denzel Ward a lot.
That much though?
Don't mind it.
I didn't think they had to do that.
They didn't, but like
I didn't think they had enough to do that.
Like Ward deserved to get paid in all seriousness. So
yeah,
how do they keep getting more money? Miles had a big deal. Watson had a massive deal.
Exactly.
I mean, that's like the Rams. We don't know how the Rams
Where's the
come up with all
money
this money.
coming from, Cleveland?
I got the Ravens.
Show us your tax records.
There was already an investigation about Haslam too about that.
They took Tyler Linderbaum. I was gonna go wide here if he fell Dre, so I think that's a good pickup for you there. I hate the corners. I'm going to go with Winfrey. I'm going to get the big interior guy. I'm going to go Idion. Stay there. I don't like any of the corners, so get the Ravens some help up front. Which means, Justin, you are up for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
How this happened.
Worked out.
I'm pretty excited. Okay, so here a guy that I really like is Jalen Petrie from Baylor. And I think that he would be great in Minnesota's defense as that, kind of that nickel back, like third safety, which is very much what he played at Baylor. I
don't want to interrupt you, but I do want to let
but
you
you're
know
going to.
Kyle Hamilton already drafted.
That's what I'm getting to. Because Kyle Hamilton's already there, I'm not going to go Petrie, but that's
just get
probably
two
where I would
safeties.
have.
Way to go, Austin.
Yeah, I would have went.
Sorry.
I would have did Jordan Davis first round, Petrie second round here. But because of that, I actually I like Travis Jones a lot, and I think I'm gonna do that. Corner is big, but I'll do Travis Jones. That's what I'm gonna do.
I like him better than the corner options.
Yeah, I'm not real keen on the corner options here either. I think you can get a guy later, B, in the third or fourth. Guys like Kobe Bryant, these guy,
Mario Goodrich.
Your boy.
There'll be guys there, I think, in the third that they can kind of snag that I like more for that value than guys like Tariq Woodson and stuff right now. So
I do like 3 straight interior defensive linemen taken too. That's fun.
Just get them off the board.
Yeah.
Us, you're up for the Commanders.
Yeah. Interesting. I am actually quite shocked that this guy fell this far. Safety is honestly a big need, I think, for the Commanders. So give me Lewis Sign.
Okay.
Honestly, for most of the mocks that I've done, Sign is probably like the first or second pick off the board for the second round, in my honest opinion, just because I know that like second round is normally where you get those safeties and you latch them into your systems. I think, a lot of people have that they want to go Kyle Hamilton here at 11 for the Commanders if it's not a receiver. And I think if Kyle Hamilton's gone, you take the next best thing off the board in terms of safety, and that's Sign from Georgia.
I think Sign could end up in the Steelers uniform too.
Here at 52.
All that far.
No, at 1. At 20.
Oh, okay.
I think that's his ceiling.
Yeah.
Say.
I don't hate it.
In terms of draft position.
Malik, you got the Bears. They previously took wide receiver George Pickens.
I think they desperately need to address tackle, and there's 2 guys in this spot. They're both technically projects, so it's kind of like leaning towards which way you want to go. And I think I think Raymond is the guy that's probably going to be the better option to start right away instead of Fale, because Fale is going to need some time. Might have to cut a little bit of weight too. So I'm going to go with Bernard Raymond.
It's a safe
cool name. It's a cool name. I'm just throwing that out
Bernard
there.
Raymond.
Bernard Raymond. Just rolls off your tongue, doesn't it?
I mean, also Daniel Falafel too is also.
Yeah, I still can't pronounce that. I'm a toddler.
Yeah.
Bernard Raymond sounds like an accountant.
Esquire right after. No, I like it, Greg. Dre, you got the Saints. The Saints previously selected tackle and wide receiver.
Perfect. Then honestly, this pick should be kind of easy for me. All things considered, let's spice it up here and go Sam Howell.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I think that's a good fit for him if he's going to succeed.
The guy, I mean, obviously the guy here, when you think of this, I don't think of James Winston, even though he's not signed long term. I think of the other guy who I can't think of his name right now.
Taysom Hill.
Yes, I hate him. And
Sam Howell got a lot of Taysom Hill in him, brother.
According to Dennis Allen, he is going to to tight end. That is like they're making. There's
Sam Howell.
I don't have a position for him.
Yeah, Sam Howell going to be a tight end.
Nah, I like Sam Howell here. I do see. Maybe it's because he has just put on the Saints, but I do see like that gunslinger Breeze type stuff in him. But he's obviously more mobile. There's a lot of question marks with Howell, which is, he was a guy that was again considered going. He was supposed to be the best quarterback in his class. Coming into the year, last year, he was supposed to be the Heisman favorite, but immediately shit the bed. But it's because he lost all. Is it because he lost all of his weapons, or is it because he's just not that good? So I think you put him in that offensive team that's obviously in transition. You get Sam Howell, and at the very least, he's a solid backup behind Jameis.
Don't hate one bit. I got the Chiefs. The Chiefs have walked already with a wide receiver and a safety. I know we've all basically been saying we don't like it. I kind of want to go running back here, but I think they've been serviceable with the names they have, and they're just proven to not make a running back technically work. So I'm going to go with Roger McCreary.
Yep.
I like Tariq Woolen, for the record. I just am going with Roger McCreary. Justin, you got the Eagles. They currently they took wide receiver and then interior offensive line, which I believe was Zion Johnson. Yeah.
I think I probably would have taken McCreary there. I like McCreary better than this guy, but I think, given their needs, we'll go. Oh wait, actually, you know what? Let's do, instead of Tariq Woolen, let's do Petrie.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do Petrie for Philly. Like I said, man, this guy is so at Baylor, he played, where they played too deep, and he wasn't one of them. He was the one that was like running around along the line of scrimmage. But what I liked the most about him is when he went to the Senior Bowl and had to play the traditional safety role, he was still the best safety there. So
still a stud.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Petrie. He's a do-it-all guy.
Yep.
Austin.
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder went in the first for the Steelers. Who's going in the second?
So multiple holes, I think, in the honest opinion. Although, like, it says safety is really high, but the re-signing of, Terrell Edmonds, I don't think that's as high now. Give the kid a chance to shine. Our corner,
he's had 4 years. Let's not act like he needs a chance to shine.
Yeah,
he's
right.
asked.
Give him another chance.
Oh, he's just
Second chance is all right.
Fourth chance. All right.
In my honest opinion, the Steelers in the second round will go to places that they don't necessarily need, but will need in the future. Like, I'm talking like maybe 2 years. And they did it last year. I didn't think they needed to. So it might be a reach, but I am going with John Mechie here.
Yes.
No, that's not a reach at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should say, where's he on the wide receiver rankings?
He's not in the top 10.
Oh no.
Disappointing.
Top 10. Mechie is he's serviceable. I think there's just nothing. He's not that sexy. I think he's like a solid number 2. He's a guy that he's gonna play the Z or a slot. Solid, but I would go with different guys.
I would honestly argue that Mechie was on pace to put up better numbers than Williams last year before he got injured, though. So, but part of it is probably because of the fact that Williams was on the team.
What I love about Mechie is he's just so physical. Him playing the slot is exactly where I would want him on, especially on the Steelers or on any team. He's a guy who's not scared to get dirty. He's not a guy that's scared to work on the inside of the field, which is where a lot of receivers don't like to go because they get their head taken off. But Mechie's a guy who's kind of fearless in that instance, and that's what I really like about him. So he's tough and he's gritty.
I like him. I just don't think he's your number 1 receiver.
Yeah. I think if they take him here, they're not expecting him to be number 1 guy.
Right. Yeah.
I think they're just expecting him to kind of fill a hole because if the Steelers have Claypool, who I would assume would be the future number 1, and then who?
DJ, not Johnson.
Well, I mean, Johnson's to me, he's more of a possession guy, whereas Claypool's a guy who's going to be that, but also stretch the field, kind of like a home run hitter. So I think they have higher hopes for Claypool than they do Johnson. But I guess time will tell. We'll see if he gets a contract.
I think that was tailor-made for Alec Pierce.
Ritter Pierce guy, I know, man.
Ritter to Pierce. Pierce has been saving Ritter for 4 years. You might as well keep doing it.
I know, man. I know. And honestly, if they expect Claypool to be the number 1, he's got to stop getting bodied by 6-foot guys when he's like, whatever.
Well, also what'll be nice is that Trubisky, I don't think will underthrow it like Ben did a good bit. So I feel like that'll go a long way with helping his numbers this year.
Greg, you got the Packers. They previously took who was the wide receiver we all hate? Well, they got a job at Burks. Yes, they got a job at Burks.
I'm gonna add to the depth of offensive line because last year was just like it was a mess because of how many guys got injured. So I'm gonna get Daniel Falala.
The falafel goes. He's big. He's big as shit.
Big.
How tall is he? He's
6'8".
Holy crap.
6'8", 383.
He's the mountain.
Big boy. Yeah. They'll probably have to put him at right tackle to start and just to get reps in, and then eventually he'll go to left when he's in better shape.
You got to cut like 35 pounds at least. You can't play tackle at 380 at the NFL.
Tell that to Minnesota.
Yeah. Dre, you are up for the Patriots, who previously took wide receiver Jameson Williams.
Yes, and they just had for years. They had a Alabama linebacker man in the middle and Dante Hightower, so we're just going to draft another one here. Put a guy in the middle and Christian Harris.
I like Christian Harris a lot.
He's a New England guy for sure.
Yeah, that Alabama New England crossover is too real.
Oh, it's real. Yeah.
Love that.
The Saban Belichick. Well, the Belichick coaching tree is Nick Saban. So.
I got the Cardinals. They previously went corner. This one is somewhat easy for me to say, but it'll never happen. But I'm going Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I was going to say running back's kind of the sneaky thing that I feel like they should prioritize.
Yeah, obviously the Kyler Murray situation, they said that they don't have plans on moving him, and I don't believe that they will. But dude, once paid, like the quarterback is, I think there's a cap on what he can do. He's an amazing athlete, and he's a freak of nature. I don't know, there's something about him that is a little off-putting, but I think James Conner proved that they have a decent rushing attack. Like, James Conner is in middle of the pack, NFL running back. So if you could bring in someone like Kenneth Walker who can use hands a little more, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. I guarantee they don't take Walker. I bet you they do something really stupid like Isaiah Simmons again, but we'll have to see. Justin, you got the Cowboys. They took edge previously.
Should I do it?
Yes.
It is a need. It's a need.
You have to.
I would hate this because I hate the Cowboys so much. Oh, do I hate them? I kind of don't want to do it just because I hate them so much.
It's totally justifiable. Give them somebody you hate up there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Throw them with Calvin Austin.
Do you do tight end here?
You could.
They are in a dispute with Dalton Schultz, I'm pretty sure. So,
I mean, McBride's gotten some. Dulcich, is that how you pronounce it? At UCLA, he's gotten some big inflation.
yeah.
And
Jelani Woods
Ohio
too.
State guy.
Yep. Yeah, Jelani Woods is the big one. I mean, I still cannot believe how much Jalen Watermeyer fumbled that bag. He's not even on the board.
I think kind of going different from what they've had. They've always had like the big, long tight ends. Let's do Trey McBride.
I like it.
And this is strictly because I don't want Alec Pierce to go to the Cowboys.
Yeah. I like that. Like the Bengals would have probably really wanted Trey McBride in all seriousness, so that kind of screws them a little bit.
Agreed. Austin, you got the Bills. They took corner in round 1.
You ready to love me? Are you ready to love me? Let's do it. Let's go Alec Pierce, Buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's huge.
So easily influenced.
Huge.
He can play big slot. They just released Cole Beasley. Bring it.
That's a game changer. Alec Pierce and Diggs, come on.
I'm all for Josh Allen getting more receivers.
Allen's throwing for 6,000 yards.
I've never seen Austin so easily influenced by a morning conversation.
He's just now getting his coffee.
Yep. I like it, Austin. I think I would go wide receiver for them easily there. Malik, you got the Falcons. They went quarterback and running back.
I feel like I kind of want to continue to add to the offense more, and I'm going to go guard here. Give me Sean Ryan.
Ooh.
He's going to be an interesting one where he falls.
I love that Auden Tate is going to be that number 1 receiver there.
Auden Tate from?
The Bengals.
No, I
love it. Dre. You got the pack.
Auden Tate's from Florida State, by the way.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, we shouldn't. Shouldn't.
Low-hanging fruit, people. Low-hanging fruit.
They've gone wide receiver, edge, and tackle, Dre.
Get him.
So, with all those picks, here's a guy that, I think they're going to be very happy to get him here. Very polarizing guy that sort of has, throughout this whole entire process, also has fallen. But me to Marvin Leo.
I love that. Love that, Dre.
Yeah, he's falling big.
Deke mentioned something a couple months ago about his fall and tried to compare it to something, and can't remember what it is.
I have him sliding down into the 3rd round now, which is insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because he was a first rounder at one point. So I think it's good value just based off the fact that getting him in the 2nd, and this is their 4th pick, I believe.
For the record, I don't think he did anything wrong necessarily. I just think that it was.
He didn't do anything right.
It's a good line class.
Yeah.
That I think it's just so many guys were just shining higher than him.
Yeah, the underwear Olympics can do that though, as well as pro days.
Yeah, big fan of the pick, Dre. I am up now for the Bucks. I don't really love the receivers. I think Tom Brady can make them. I don't know. I like David Bell. I like Calvin Austin. I'm not in love with any of them. Corner, not really. Again, Woolen's there. I think he's a good guy. But, yeah, I'm going to go Brian Cook, the safety out of Cincinnati.
Ooh.
Give him a little secondary help. I don't know what they're going to do, honestly, because with Tom Brady back, they are a completely different team than the 30 days where we thought Tom Brady wasn't coming back. So if they can keep that defense elite, they'll be happy.
Him coming back just changed their whole entire draft outlook. Like before, sort of like drafting BPA. Now it's like, all right, what holes they have to fill? Like
I mean, tight end is a real. If McBride was here, I probably would have gone McBride because I don't know what's going on with Gronk. But if Gronk comes back, he's still there. Clearly, I don't know. It's a lot.
I feel like Jelani Woods wouldn't be a bad pick either because like Woods is definitely a project, but he's also like a massive athlete too.
Agreed.
Yeah, which they would take advantage of somehow.
Justin, you got the 49ers. Previously, they did not have a pick.
Yeah. Very first pick. They could go like guard or corner. So I'm thinking Parham or Woolen. I'm gonna go with Parham.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's more of a drop off in O-line than corner. So I'm gonna go Parham. Super athletic guy, versatile guy. He originally was a linebacker. So yeah, I'm gonna go. That's the pick.
He played a little safety, Jesus Lord in heaven, a little center there as well, right? Like he moved all
he's
across that line.
a center guard.
Big fan of his.
Why before I make my pick, why him over Seller from Georgia?
I think I'm just gonna go versatility.
Okay.
Athleticism. I don't hate Salyer. I think Parham is just Parham's the puller, the out and screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like whenever I think there's a big success rate when you get guys that are other positions and then move to O-line. I like those guys a lot. Brian O'Neill is one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of those guys.
Taysom Hill is one of those guys.
What's that?
I said Taysom Hill is one of those guys.
Eventually, Taysom Hill will be a center by the time he's done.
Watch him end up being an all-pro tight end this year. God help us.
It'll be written in his contract.
Austin, you got the Chiefs, buddy. Previously, they have wide receiver at corner and safety.
Yep. Two big holes left to fill, in my honest opinion. The obvious one being edge, and I would say the other one being the running back position. I know we say that they've, have some of their guys that they have there, Edwards-Helaire, but they really haven't shown faith in him. They've relied on a lot of backup guys in, what's his name that was it was injured previously. He was a 49er, McKinnon. They have McKinnon, I think still. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. So
yeah, and they just signed Ronald Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm going to stick with the Isaiah Spiller would be an interesting pull here, just because I think what he had at Texas A&M. Big guy from Texas A&M. I like it. So, but I'm going to go with the best edge left on the board. I'm going to go Logan Hall out of Houston.
You could also technically line him up as a D tackle too. He'd be undersized,
so
but he'd still be good.
Has that like versatility of what you can put him at the defense, and I think that he'd be an instant like shoe in for good things there in Kansas City.
I think that's a home run pick, Austin, if they get Logan Hall, because one thing I think that defense is missing is the lack of playmakers.
Yeah.
And I think Logan Hall and his versatility, you can line him up anywhere. You can line him up the 5 technique, the 3 technique on the edge, throughout that whole defensive line, no matter what the scheme is for that specific play. I think you put him out there, he can thrive. So,
and I don't know if they still have Melvin Ingram or not, but I know he's like 32, 33. So either way, So either way, up there in age or a position to fill, Logan Hall is the man for that.
Malik, you got the Bengals. They previously took interior offensive line there. So we'll center.
Yeah, I feel like secondary is something that they should probably target. But in all seriousness, not having Suji Ozama anymore, I think is going to go a long way.
Agreed.
For them. Because I think he was a big part of their offense. So I'm going to go tight end again, and I'm going to go for the guy that I think is going to surprise people where he gets taken. I'm going to go Jelani Woods from Virginia.
Yeah, they have him pretty low right now, but like you said, freak athlete.
Yes. I even like saw his RAS scores. I think he had one of the highest ones ever recorded in history. And like understandable, they're like subjective in all seriousness, but if a team finds an athlete that can do everything it possibly can, like they're going to prioritize them to some degree. So
love it. Dre, finish it up. We got one pick left. Mr. Irrelevant, the Denver Broncos.
You mean Mr. Unlimited?
Yeah, he's such a douche.
most cringy thing I've ever seen.
No doubt about it. So the Draft Network has their team needs as edge and corner, which just doesn't feel like those are their needs because, I mean, they had Bradley Chubb and they just signed Randy Gregory. And corner, I mean, they just drafted one last year. I don't know who's on the other side, though.
Patrick Surtain's a dog, by the way.
Yeah, he's a monster. So
I feel like it's still Chris Harris for some reason. Like, I'm well aware it's not, but I feel like Chris Harris is a perpetual Broncos secondary.
Just always going to be there.
Yeah.
Chris Harris.
Yeah.
Chris Harris hasn't been the same since AB torched him on that one Sunday night game, and it's been just downhill ever since.
What was crazy about that is that he didn't allow a touchdown, or he didn't get scored on in like 2 years, I think, at that point. And AB torched him for 2 touchdowns. I think he got a touchdown on the first drive.
Yeah.
Just absolutely demolished him. Oh, my goodness. But I'm definitely going to stick with the defense, but I'm going to get a guy in the middle and a guy I really like. I actually have him ranked higher than guys like Muma, and that is Channing Tindall.
Okay.
He is low on this board.
Yeah. I was thinking you were talking Chanel for a hot sec.
Yeah.
I was just thinking Troy Anderson
too
for a second. Yeah.
I have him ranked higher than Chanel too.
We are a Chad Muma show, guys. Look alive, Greg.
Oh yeah,
My bad.
We
love them Cowboys up in Wyoming and Laramie.
Yes, we do. Shout out Elsas, who will probably tweet me if the Pirates lose again today, because he's a Cubs fan. Anyways, I like Tindall. He's a sideline guy, very fast. He's I believe he ran a 4.4 at the combine. So undersized as hell, but that's a team that I think he fits what they do. Their base defense is a 3-4, so him being undersized is nice, and he can go there. He's not going to be there to stop the run because that whole division is. I mean, they're going to be in dime package the entire time because of who's all there. So between Mahomes, Carr, and Herbert,
Don't hate
I
it
think
at all.
they get a sideline guy in him.
Boys,
On the defense.
thank you guys for tuning in. Justin, thank you for joining us, buddy. We
Thanks for having me,
do
guys.
this
This
random
was fun.
stuff all the time. So anytime I can get Austin to be torched by a random stranger and then have his personality completely change, I love it.
Just like a 180 too. It was very, very electric.
Love you, Austin.
Before we go,
Austin, that was a great pick.
Oh my God!
Alec Pierce to the
Positive
Bills.
reinforcement.
Game changer.
Unbelievable.
before we go,
Super
Justin,
Bowl.
I need to know the full list of your top 10 receivers. 'Cause
I do too. I'm curious.
Sure. The only one that wasn't drafted is man, I really like him, is Khalil Shakir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Boise. I have him as my number 7.
I've
Wow.
seen some like 7-round mocks where they've had the Steelers taking him in like the 3rd or 4th round.
I personally I would have really liked Shakir over Mechie for the Steelers. I think Shakir is he's so elite, like ball skills, catches, like crazy catches. He is one of those guys that like goes into the backfield. He does takes the wildcat snaps. He was, like you said, like dominates games, like very much takes over at Boise. He's easily the best player on the field. I think he's kind of a Jarvis Landry type, and I think he's faster than Landry. I really like Shakir. Shakir might – am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah, you can swear.
Yes.
Shakir might fuck around and be the best,
Wow.
or be one of the best guys in this draft.
Okay.
Keep that in mind for Dynasty, Dre.
Yeah, noted.
I love it. So wait, it was
I
Wilson,
got
Olave, Williams.
Alec Pierce 4, Drake London 5, Christian Watson 6, Khalil Shakir 7, Jahan Dotson 8, George Pickens 9, Skye Moore 10.
That Alec Pierce one is just something I can't get over at all. It's weird.
So not that this is defending my take, but Chris Sims has Alec Pierce in his top.
No.
But Chris Sims doesn't have Olave or Garrett Wilson in the top 5, which I think is bananas.
What?
Yeah.
Not even in his top 5. Also, he doesn't have Kayvon Thibodeau in his top 5.
This is why I'm glad NBC Sports doesn't exist anymore on TV.
Big clicks, guys.
There are some things I like. There are some things I like. In the last couple years, there are times where I've agreed with Chris Sims, and then sometimes we're just like, dude, I don't know. But
I think he does have to try and prove he's smarter than everybody else, but clearly he's just an idiot.
But I think he's spot on with Alec Pierce because everything is what I saw, man. When I saw him, just the tape, and so I did the receivers kind of like in order of how they're supposed to be, like watching them. And so Alec Pierce was like the 15th guy that I watched. And my very first line that I wrote was, hold the fucking phone. Holy shit.
I love that.
Like,
that's great.
And then at the bottom I put fucked up my list. Because oh my goodness, man, it's crazy. Cincinnati had like a super simple offense. They didn't do they didn't do anything with him. They kind of, it was just very simple. Like he was just doing fades and hooks and benches. But like, I think this dude can do everything. I think he's the drag route, just like Treylon Burks did. Like, I think he can do that in the NFL. I think he can do the drag route and then up to seam for whatever, just he's the burst off the line, size, and also 40-inch vertical.
Yeah.
He's 6'3".
All right.
Are you his agent? Just out of curiosity.
I love him. I'm telling you, Buffalo, Super Bowl with Alec Pierce.
I love
We should have
it.
had him do a my guy list. It would have been
Austin Pierce, Pierce.
Right, it just be circled. My guy, just one.
So we appreciate it. Hey guys, thanks for waking up and doing this. We'll get this up on YouTube. Thank everybody if they do watch for watching, and we'll definitely be shooting some thoughts on draft day if Pierce goes. So
I love how you took over hosting duties from Dre. By the way, that's
he
awesome.
wasn't,
Cool. I don't mind not being the host.
And then throw that little shot in there before they get off the camera.
All good, baby.
I hate you guys.